Hello everybody and welcome to GameSpot Presents Now Playing. Today we're going to have a look at Splinter Cell Conviction. This gentleman on the far right, that's obviously Giancarlo Veronini, and we are lucky enough to be joined by Ubisoft Montreal's Max Bailon, creative director on the game. Max, how you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Alright, so let's get right into this. The game's going on right here, so what are we having to look at right now?
Well, this is actually the second map of the game. It's in Malta. Julien is playing it, so he's probably going to play it perfectly. So he just did a death from above to gain his ability to execute. Now he's marking two thugs that are in front of the museum.
And this is the new mark and execute feature, right?
Exactly. It's all about getting into position and then we're ready, pressing the Y button and taking care of your targets. Super fast, super lethal.
And can you talk a little bit about the setup in terms of why is Sam here? Why is he at this spot?
Yeah. Well, Sam is in Malta because he's following a lead. He's looking for the killer of his dog. If you played Double Agent, you know that Sam's daughter, Sarah, was killed, and she was killed by a drunk driver, and then Sam does not accept that, right? We can imagine that Sam is a control freak, right? So he doesn't accept her death, and then he goes to Malta, following a lead he has, and that brings him to Andrew Coben's mansion.
And there we just got to look at that. You can peek under doors.
Yeah, exactly. And at the beginning of the game, because Sam is not working for the government, for third echelon, he doesn't have all the high-tech gadgets, right? So at the beginning of the game, he uses a car mirror to look under doors. Later on, he gains the classic snake cam.
And so that combination of little touches from earlier games in the Splinter Cell series, what other sorts of things like that do we see in the game?
Well, I think the most important one is obviously the goggles, right? The goggles are Sam's iconic gadgets, so obviously at one point in the game, Sam gets them. After that, we've got the sticky camera, which is probably one of my favorite. You just throw it anywhere you want, it sticks to the wall, then you can switch your view to see where the enemies are. You can mark them from there, and you can also whistle to attract the enemy to the camera, and then you can blow it up.
All right. I feel terrible that we didn't call out one of my favorite parts of the game, which is you just shot down a chandelier to drop on a bunch of dudes. So the action is, it can get a lot more over the top than earlier games in the series, right?
Yeah, I mean, the goal was really to put the player in control of the action. I mean, it is a stealth action game, and we wanted players to be able to feel like they were Sam Fisher, that they were like the best elite agent in the world, and that meant, you know, allowing for a bit more of an action phase to the game.
And there we just saw the little human shield bit and some of the environmental contextual things that you can do. So if you're near a stairway railing like we saw, you just ram the guy's head into it. So
exactly.
There's a lot more of that kind of stuff in this game as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is interesting. Here's Julien. Julien did a couple of good moves, so he got some points for the PEC system, right? So basically the PEC system has some challenges that you need to complete, and once you complete them, you can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your gadgets, things like that. And what's cool is that you can, all the gadgets that you upgrade, your guns, you can use them in single player and in co-op. So all of that is cross throughout the game.
Okay.
And we're seeing here too, you notice that the color fades depending on how stealthy you are, right?
Well, it's actually linked with the light and shadow. So as soon as you're in the shadows, we go to black and white, and then it basically tells you you're invisible, the enemies can't see you unless they bump on you or unless they flash a flashlight on you. So it's a clear feedback for the player that he's hidden. A little bit from above. There we go.
So you can approach those enemies from a pretty wide variety of angles, right?
Yeah, to me, Splinter Cell has always been about options and different choices. It's a tactical game, right? So we're really building the environments in a way that allow us to allow the player to choose how he wants to attack the different zones. So, you know, like Julien is down here, but if I, you know, can you go upstairs? Julien can go upstairs. He can. There we go, throwing the human shield. He can jump out of windows, so if the action starts downstairs and he wants to run away, he can go out the windows, he can climb here, try to do a death from above on a guy.
And his moves and the types of kills he's able to do, how does that evolve as you progress deeper into the game?
Well, actually, I was talking about the PEC system before, and one of the upgrades you can get is upgrading your gun to get a new mark. So instead of having 2 marks on a weapon or 3 marks on a weapon, you can go to 4. And that's very interesting because it really changes the. There you go. That's a good move.
That was impressive.
Yeah. So see, the gun that that Julien has right now is actually a gun that starts out with 2 marks, and then he upgraded it, and he has 3.
And so, Julien is obviously playing very well. If he weren't quite as skilled as he is, and he had to deal with people like fighting back at him, what sort of what are the alarms like? What happens when you have a bunch of guys after you, and you suddenly go from being an offensive player to a defensive player?
Yeah. Well, actually, what's interesting is what we've built is what we call the last known position. And as soon as combat starts, yes, you can take cover and shoot your way out of the fight, but you can also decide to run away. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you break the line of sight with your enemies, we display the last known position. It's Sam's silhouette, and it tells the player, where the enemies saw him last. So we can totally use that to attract the AI, right? Because the AI is going to come to investigate that last known position, and then you can flank the enemies. You can grab a pipe, go above that, and then do a death from above on the guy that's investigating your last known position.
And that's a major part of the whole design philosophy with this Splinter Cell, right?
Yeah, it's really one thing we wanted to do was let the game continue once you were detected, right? We didn't want to pop a game over screen in your face as soon as you were detected or as soon as combat started. We wanted to give a chance to the player to catch up on his mistake and continue playing. And that fits very well because of the story, obviously. Because Sam is not working for Third Echelon, it's okay if he makes mistakes, it's okay if he leaves a dead body over there. His mission continues, it's a personal mission, and nothing's going to stop him.
A moment ago, we saw one of those EMP grenades. What other sorts of gadgets like that should we expect?
There's actually 2 gadgets that are EMP. One is the grenade that Julien is using, and later on you get an EMP backpack. And that one's a bit the same idea, but it's a greater area, and it's really your get out of shit, get out of the shit button, right? So let's say you're in combat, you're surrounded, you press on that button, all the lights turn off, then you gain a tactical advantage for a couple of seconds, and you can use that to your advantage.
And throughout this level, we've seen some of the new, storytelling elements. We've seen some of the new mission objective elements where things are just projected on walls and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one. At the beginning of the game, we use it also for tutorial purposes. That goes away pretty fast. It's actually the last map that has that. But yeah, the projected movies and the projected text are very interesting because I think they allow us to tell the story in real time while you're playing, right? And we can really create some nice emotional moments. I think we're going to see one right here after Julien takes care of these 2 guys. Julien knows this map by heart. There we go. So here's one of Sarah getting killed. So as we're getting closer to Coben, who killed Sarah, we're just placing those. I think this Julien's going to probably climb over to Sarah's tomb, which I find kind of very symbolic. Right. There you go.
All right. That looks great. So that's the end of our demo today. Max, you guys have you've been working on this game for quite a number of years, but it's almost finally done. How does it feel up there in Montreal right now?
Right now in Montreal, it's super tense, right? It's the last moment, so the team, I know the guys are really working super hard. They're really tired, but I mean, the finishing line is right there, so it's really exciting.
All right. Excellent. Anything else you want to add before we finish up today?
No, I'm good. I mean, the game is coming out April 13, exclusively on Xbox 360 and PC, so I hope everybody gets a chance to play it.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for your time, Max.
Cool, thanks.
We appreciate it a lot. All right, so that's your look at Splinter Cell Conviction, now playing. Make sure to check out the Splinter Cell page on GameSpot.com for a whole lot more video coverage.